What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your PKS44 stand. So along with the stand itself, you also get 2 additional arms to add a second tier for your stand. You also get a gooseneck so you can add additional items like a microphone, and it also comes with a mic clip for a dynamic microphone. You also get this shelf here to add to one of the tiers for your stand, and it also comes with a carry bag to bring everything on the go. You also get these measurement stickers here, which are optional, but you can add them to the legs of the stand if you want a numerical measurement to the height of the legs, but we're gonna circle back to that in a bit. So for the setup, we're just gonna focus on the stand itself first. So I'm actually gonna remove this shelf here so we can focus on the stand. So to set up the stand, we're first gonna start by bringing up the legs, which we can do by very easily just grabbing one of the legs and pulling it up like this. And you're gonna wanna make sure to pull all the way up until you can't anymore, until you hear that lock letting us know it's secure. And then you're gonna do the exact same thing for the second leg here. From here, we can adjust the height of the legs depending on the setup we're going for. So to do that, we'll loosen the knobs over here on our legs. And when we pull up on any of the legs, you'll see these measurement lines here, which is a visual representation of how high the legs will be. You can also see these lines along the inside of the legs here, and this is where the measurement stickers would come in handy if you choose to add these on. So again, we can use these stickers as a numerical measurement. So if we were to attach it onto the inside of the leg like this, you'll then see that these lines here can measure up to the notches on your stickers. For example, if I wanted to raise the leg up to a certain point so that it matches the 16 notch here, I'll know that I can raise it up to that 16 notch for a better guide. And then once I'm all set, I can tighten the knob to lock it in place. Again, using these stickers is completely optional, but you still do have the lines along the legs so you can still see how high you'll be setting the height of the legs. And then we're gonna do the exact same thing to set the height for the other legs. Once you're all set there with the legs, you can just flip the table over to stand it up. Now, if the floor that you're setting up the stand on is a bit uneven, you can loosen up each leg. Then you'll take the stand by each side here and sort of adjust it till you find the nice level balance. And then once you're all set, you can tighten each knob to lock it in place. For now, we're just gonna keep our stand at the max height. So now that we've got the height of the stand all situated, we can also adjust the width of the stand in case we need more room. So to do that, we can loosen these knobs here on the bottom of the stand. Then we can take each side of the stand and pull on it like this. You'll now see that the stand is a bit wider, and after we found the width that we want to use, we can tighten these knobs back up to lock it in place. So again, this could be used if you need more width for your stand, but for today, we're actually gonna set it back to normal. Now we can also add the additional arms to the stand to add the second tier. So to do that, I'm gonna start by taking one of the arms, and I'm gonna loosen this knob here so I can bring the arm of the stand out just like this. Then I'm just gonna tighten it to keep it in place. Then I'll just do the same thing for my second arm here. So now that the arms are all set up, it will be way easier to slide them into the stand. So to do that, we're gonna start by going into the inside bars of the stand here and loosen these knobs. And you'll wanna loosen these knobs a fair amount so that we can slide the arms into the stand. And you can tell these knobs are loose enough if you take your finger and reach inside of the hole on the back. And if you don't feel that screw poking out from the inside, you'll know you're good. And once you have these knobs loosened up all the way, we can now attach the arms into the stand. But before you do that, you just want to pay attention to the arm itself, and you actually want to make sure that the side of the knob is facing outwards for each side. So you'll want to have this arm with the knob facing out like this, and you'll want to have this arm facing out with the knob facing that way. So now we can take each arm and slide it into the hole here on the stand. Slide that all the way through. And once they're in there, we're gonna tighten up these knobs inside of the stand to lock the arms in place. So once the arms are set up to the stand, you can always adjust the position of each arm by loosening this knob here, and then you can move the arm up or down to your preference. And once you have it in the position you want to use, you can tighten it up to lock it in place. So the next thing we can do for our setup here is attach the gooseneck mic stand. So we'll start out by loosening this knob here to open up the clamp for the gooseneck. Once we have it opened up, we can pick a spot where we want to attach the gooseneck, and we have a few different options here as far as the placement goes. So you can basically mount this anywhere along the stand that isn't obstructed by any additional pieces. So for example, you can place it anywhere along the back of the stand like this. You can even place it in front of the stand like this along the way. You can also place it on the sides, either on the front of the stand or the back of the stand like this. But the places we don't recommend setting this up is on top of the cushion part here on the stand, or by the double bracings here inside of the stands, being that this won't fit on there anyway. So for today, I'm gonna place it on the back side of my stand here. So I'm gonna take the opening here for the mount of the gooseneck and slide it on to the back like this. And then I'm gonna tighten this knob here on the bottom to secure the gooseneck onto the stand. So now that it's nice and secure, we can adjust the position of the gooseneck by raising it up. We can even fold it out like this. And we can even take the included mic clip here and screw that onto the threading at the end of the gooseneck. So this mic clip will hold any dynamic microphone like this one here. So I can slide on my mic like this. Then from here I can take an XLR cable, plug it into the mic, and then plug the other end into my mixer, interface, etc. Now if you wanted to use a condenser microphone instead of a dynamic microphone for this setup, you can still do that, and all you have to do is take the shock mount for your condenser microphone, screw that onto the threading for your gooseneck, pinch the sides of your shock mount so you can slide your condenser microphone on, then plug in your XLR cable and connect your mic wherever you want. And because condenser microphones are more sensitive than dynamic microphones, we can take this setup one step further by taking a pop filter here. Loosen up the clamp for your pop filter so that you can fit it anywhere along the gooseneck for your stand. Once you have it in a spot that will reach the microphone, you can then tighten the clamp to lock it in place. And now your condenser mic is all ready to go for your recording or performance. Now one thing I do want to point out is that the threading here at the end of the gooseneck is detachable. So if we wanted, we can actually unscrew this threading here, and this will reveal a thinner threading so we can add different attachments, different mic clips, or different shock mounts. What's also really cool is these holes here on each side of the stand that we can use to run our cables, like our XLR cable for our microphone, 1/4-inch cables for our synth or keyboard, power cables, MIDI cables, etc. So this way we can have a nice organized setup, and if you wanted to make your setup even more organized, you can always use Velcro strips and tighten them along the legs of the stand where your cables are. So now that our stand is all set up, we can bring in our shelf here so we can turn the first tier of our stand into a table. So to do that, all we're gonna do is line up the inside of our shelf here to the top of the first tier of our stand. And once you have it all lined up, you can place the shelf down, and now it's nice and secure to your stand. So this is really handy because we can use the table part for smaller items like our cables, phone, drinks, etc. And then we can still use the top tier to hold our mixers, keyboards, or synths, and much more. So once we're all done using the stand, we can follow the steps in reverse to break it down. So we'll start by taking off the shelf here. I'm actually gonna place the shelf away for now so that we have enough room to break down the rest of the stand and bring it back once we're all ready to pack up. So we'll start by taking off the gooseneck mic stand here by loosening up the mount for the gooseneck. Once you have the knob loose enough, we can then slide the gooseneck off like this, and then it comes right off and we can set it aside. So now we can remove the arms of the stand by loosening up the knobs inside here. Once those knobs are loosened up, we can just pull out the arms like this. Then on both of the arms, we can loosen up the knobs on the side so we can contract them just like that. Now from here, we can flip the stand so that the legs are facing up. Now to bring the legs back into the stand, we can push on these hinges here that keep the legs up. And then from here, you'll be able to bring the legs all the way in like that. And then you're gonna do the exact same thing for the legs on the other side. So after we disassemble everything, we can now place it inside of the included bag here. So if we take a look inside of this bag here, you'll actually notice this divider in the middle to keep the stand itself and the shelf separate so that it's not clashing together inside of the bag. So we'll start by taking the shelf and placing it in the back of the bag. And then we can take the stand itself and place it in the front of the bag. And again, the divider should be in the middle between the stand and the shelf. So after we pack up the shelf and the stand, we can then take both of our arms and place them inside. Then we'll pack up our gooseneck mic stand as well. And now that everything's inside, we can zip up the bag. And now we're all set to take our stand on the go. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your PKS44 stand. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.